Okay, we're back with another new collection for August 2024. This is Submersion. Submersion is actually the first collection from one of our newest partners, Spec Travelers. This release really highlights Strata's ability to help you design even in the most niche circumstances. Submersion perfectly highlights the philosophy behind how collections are curated to provide nuance and objective value. Strata is not another library presenting bloated file counts as prime value. So let's take a look at the trailer and then jump into the main project. This collection has 5 projects: underwater ambience objects, ambience, explosion, movement, and submarine. Underwater ambience is used to set the overall tone of the scene. Objects support each environment with additional immersive elements. Underwater explosions are general enough for a variety of uses and offer multiple different aesthetics. Movement provides options for common player or creature actions in these environments. Submarine could really lend itself useful to many different types of vessels with the pass-by, torpedo, and other immersive sounds associated with it. Let's have a look at the design example I put together and break it down into each of its layers and the corresponding sub-projects from Submersion. We'll begin with the underwater explosion project. The chemical explosion has some really nice, interesting sort of tonal elements to it. We have small, medium, and big explosion sizes. So between the three, you can get precisely what you need for your project. Distant, obviously really great to have this extra perspective. I even used it to shift between two perspectives from a regular explosion to this one. Here's my designed explosion, which incorporates elements of all three. Here you'll see some control tracks for making perspective adjustments. We have distance and intensity, and then also a few times we'll have quantity. Start with the deep sea calm loop, which I used. Let's have a listen. We have a basic layer with some rumbling. Details layer has some bubbles and some higher frequency content. Control the distance. And here is the cave ambience. So our basic layer again has some nice rumbly sort of texture. And then the details layer has some really interesting sort of echoey, bubbly, just really kind of ethereal sounding stuff. Here's the ambience in the design demo going from the sea to the cave. Most sounds in the underwater movement project are broken down into two layers. So you have your basic layer, which is the core of the sound, and then the details layer usually is a sort of bubble texture that kind of adds a little bit to the environment. So let's take a look at the breathing apparatus, for example. This is a really cool sound. Here's your basic layer. So a lot of the breathing is in there. And then here's some of the details. I also use some of the creature pass by sounds. There's a fast, medium, and slow. So let's hear these layer by layer. Water whoosh. Again, some bubbles. And then also a weight layer for this one. Whole thing together. Here's the slow, for example, difference. Incorporating Strata projects into your existing workflow can definitely leave you with a few things to contemplate. We'll take a look at one strategy I used in my design demo. That's creating some custom regions, allowing me to design right inside of the Strata project. So I have a video reference track here, and I've copied over the ambience loop that I want to use for this. Most importantly, the first thing we're going to want to do is do a save as quickly. Then we make a time selection for the length of the video, right click, and then I'm going to go create region from time selection. Go ahead and name the region. Also important to extend the data region if you want to use that information for the rendered file. Open the region render matrix. Then I'm going to select the tracks that I want associated with this region. Basically all of our monitoring outputs, just in case. Then simply select that region, render. I have the demo region ambience rendered out. Just as a quick recap and an overall impression here, this collection has comprehensive control tracks, which I've really come to love for ambiences. They ensure you never need to dig around for the right texture. Just adjust the parameters for the environment and begin your mixing process. This is another tightly focused collection, and Spec Travelers add style to Strata, incorporating their unique synthetic textures. I'd say all your bases are covered pretty well here for setting up any type of underwater environment you might need. As we start to just sort of wind things down for this video, let's take another look at some more material inside of the sub-projects and just give you an even better sense of what's in here. Back inside underwater ambience, the river and ice movement sounds are also pretty unique, and there's a really nice distance control on these to get perfect placement every time. Here's a perfect example where there's some really interesting flavor in the collection and where you're seeing the style of Spec Travelers really shine through. Jumping back real quick to the underwater movement project, I also wanted to point out that we have effects controls in here as well for things like intensity. So here's the jump. And also again in the underwater objects project, first example of the hydrothermal vent heat bursts. There's an ice melting loop. An alien computer, just to showcase a little bit more of Spec Traveler's unique flavor in terms of design, and close out our review. Thanks again for watching. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. That way you can see new collections as they're released. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and make sure you download the 2 free sample collections from Strata. Soon there's going to be another one coming out. You have about 1,000 source files between them, 15 Reaper projects with examples from a variety of the different released collections so far. If you have any questions, head over to the Audiokinetic community Q&A or leave comments in the video and we'll check and see if we can help you out with anything. And until next month or the next Strata video, take care and we will see you later.